Hey everyone, so I got the Tuono V4 and I've got it in the silver tarmac gray color, which I super love. It's got mega stealth mode going on all over it. And I'll highlight a few things. I was just playing around with the suspension, so I put my my band on here so I can see what my travel is going to be. Comes with the Brembos and whatever the largest Brembo brakes are, which is definitely necessary. This engine's putting out 177 horsepower, and now that I've got multiple modes set up and all that, it's really great. I've set my tire pressure. Comes with Pirelli Diablo Rosso tires, and so I've set my PSI already. I think I've got the front set at like 33 and the rear at 36. I tend to like a slightly underinflated front for the road. So that's what I do. It's got Sachs suspension, which is great, and I softened up the back just a touch here as well. Fully adjustable, preload, all the jazz. The exhaust is great. I like it. It's I'm not going to change it if you're asking. I like to keep the stock exhaust on my bikes, especially Aprilias, because I think they sound awesome. This is the 1100 motor in here, which is next level. I love it. Down in here I've got wings which are covered up underneath the beautiful fairing, and you know, it is basically a slightly undressed RSV4 with slightly different tuning, and then I've also got a little bit of aero down over there, and I love this cutout, which is very MotoGP inspired cutout to keep the front tire cool on the front fender. There's the new headlight array, which is great. It comes with this touring windshield, and on my other Tuono I had a touring windshield as well, which I primarily rode with, and then I ended up putting the smaller one on, and the wind blast is pretty dramatic. The factory version comes with a slightly smaller one, like just kind of covers up this, and I actually prefer this a lot more because I can definitely feel the difference. Up over here, Brembo master cylinder, which is great. It's got the adjustments on the outside for how far I want my levers to go, which is fantastic. The mirrors are solid. These mirrors are next level. They don't vibrate at all. I end up with really great visibility on the mirrors no matter the speed. It's got a way larger rear seat for a pillion or for luggage. I do a couple of trips a year, nothing major, but enough to put in 1,000 to 2,000 kilometers, and having space to put some gear on the back, backpack, strap it down, any kind of baggage is great. And if I have to take someone for a ride, then they can actually sit on that back seat, which is great. Pirelli's in the back as well. Some people were saying that this distance here is a little bit short. For me, I've got a size 9.5 foot shoe, and it seems just fine for me. I do get a little bit of touching over here, but this gap is created so that the heel actually sits in here as opposed to here. So I think as long as you have good foot position and you're not lazy, it's not an issue. So no problems with that. I don't do fender eliminator kits. I just don't really care for them. So I'm fine with this. No problems at all. And what else is going on up over here? Okay, so let's take a look. The levers for the clutch are awesome. I love this little accent of red that's hiding down up under here. Everything's pretty slick, and I'm keeping it clean. So up over here on left switch gear, I've got all these controls to control the ECU. This over here is my cruise control and or pit limiter if I'm in race mode, which I haven't used the pit limiter yet, but I have used the cruise control, which is really quite lovely. It does not have heated grips. Up over on this side here, I've got a mode selector and then the on-off switch, and down over here, this amazing TFT display. I'll put it in neutral. If I can find neutral. we go. Neutral, and check this out. How sick is that? So I've got my user mode in what I'm calling insane mode. Engine management's at 1, so it's the most aggressive. Engine braking's at 1 because I like very little engine braking. Traction control is at 1. I can change this on the fly on my hand, so it's got levels 1 to 8. So I leave it at 1 and I change it to 2 or 3 depending on the road conditions, just with these buttons right here. So minus on this side and plus on this side. And then wheelie control I've got on 1 because I don't like the rear wheel to chop down. I've got good throttle control, so I'm not really pulling up. Plus with this new aero, it's actually really hard to lift the front wheel. Like there's a little bit of lift under hard acceleration, but it's pretty tough. Launch control, I never use it. I just keep it at 2. And ABS I put to 1, which effectively removes rear wheel ABS. So I don't have rear wheel ABS on here. And I actually don't like rear wheel ABS. I like to control a little bit of that rear wheel by sliding it a little bit if I have to. And my first ride, I had that rear wheel ABS and my corners were a disaster. I just couldn't get it going. So yeah, so you can change all this here. So let's say I wanted to change the engine braking to 2. I could do that, and then it comes back to 1. And I can change my user modes. When I'm actually running the bike, I can simply change my modes by pushing this right button. And what's awesome is that they're all color coded, so everything changes. So with a glance, I know that green is sport. I know that this sort of tealy dark color is my user mode, and so I'm calling it insane mode. And the blue is tour. So the same thing is true if I end up going to the race mode. So there's race mode. Now I'm in race mode. This is now shifted to being a pit lane limiter instead of cruise control. And then up over here, you can see track 1 is this red color. Track 2 is red as well, but it is rear-wheeled ABS, anti-wheelie control, all that is off. And then there's race mode, which no rear ABS. So that is the mode that I tend to go in. And then again, I can change with this lever over here whether I'm going up or down on traction control. So depending where you are on the track. And then it's got the lap timer, and it's awesome because the lap timer basically start and stop by hitting your high beam light. So as you're coming through the start finish line, boom, just tap your high beam light and you'll have your track time. If you want to do it by segments, you can do that as well. And yeah, so I haven't played around too much with race mode, except for in race mode you can customize everything as well, and you can customize all of that. So track 1 you can customize, track 2 you can customize, and race mode you can customize. So as you can see, track 1 is default set to kind of what I would call getting to know the track. Track 2 looks like it's set to basically what I have for my insane mode, except wheelie control is off. And then there's race mode, but all of these are fully customizable. So yeah, that's a little bit about how this Aprilia works. It's freaking amazing. I'm going to, I don't have any lap times. I'm going to change it back to road mode. And there we go. So when I kind of feel like giving it some beans, I go to user, and then I just change it to touring if I'm, say, on the freeway or just cruising along. Maybe taking some novice people out on a ride, I'll stick it to tour mode, and my throttle becomes really easily manageable, like very, very supple. And then sport mode is what I tend to just ride around on, and I'll change it to TC1, TC2, or TC3. If it's raining, maybe I'll change it to TC4 in touring mode, or TC5. 6, 7, 8 I've never used, not even on my other Tuono. And there you go. So that is the Aprilia. I've taken off all the stickers, and I love it. This bike is absolutely amazing. I got it from International Motorsports. Nathan hooked me up really, really well, and I hope you enjoyed that video. All right, ciao.